First tonight, when it comes to taking photos, Barbara Peacock sums up her approach like this. If it crawls, walks, skips, runs, drools, or barks, I can shoot it.
Like if it drools or barks. Barbara Peacock is a photographer who spent most of her life in Massachusetts until she moved to Portland about a year and a half ago. Photos from two of her projects, one called American Bedroom, the other called Hometown, are now on display at the Maine Museum of Photographic Arts. Photography is Peacock's passion, and she has been drawn to it since she was a little girl. When you were growing up, you had a sibling or two with a brownie camera. Is that sort of what sparked your interest in photography?
That is exactly the case. I don't know why, but ever since I was about 4 years old, I was obsessed with cameras, and I was running around with the brownies, and my dad had exactly that camera right there. I can actually get it if you want. Yeah. So this camera right here, was my dad's, and he used to take it traveling with him. He was a CPA, but he used to travel around. He used to take this with him, and I was obsessed with it as a little kid, and I always asked him if I could use it, and he always said, no, you're not old enough. And there's a picture of me 4 years old just running with it. When
you're out and about and you don't have a specific assignment, and you're just looking, and you've got your camera with you, what catches your eye?
People. The interaction of people and the possibility of telling a story.
And that's been the case almost from the beginning, because I know that one of the stories that you tell is how you were a young woman, I don't know if you were even still a teenager, and you were, I think, in your hometown, saw some kids hanging out, 5 kids hanging out on a step one day, you went back the next day, same kids, basically in the same positions, and a light bulb went off over your head.
That's exactly how Hometown started. I was still in school, at museum school, and we had to use the 4x5 camera. And we had to do something that was personal to us, but not family. That was the assignment. Went home, and I saw those kids that day, and I saw them the next day, and I said, something is here. This is very interesting, because time is passing, but it's standing still, and I'm really interested in that. And I took the picture.
How has your photography changed over the years, especially given that you started so young and were serious about it, even as a kid?
It's really interesting because I am a commercial photographer also, and so my commercial photography is lifestyle. So I'm creating moments that look real, that aren't real. The child is hired model, the clothing is picked, like over 100 pieces of clothing is put onto that child. The child's gonna like jump on a bed and blow bubbles. We're gonna get everything just right. There's 25 people there helping this thing happen. And when you see the end result, it looks like a kid was just playing. So I'm creating these stories. But the other kind of photography is you're seeing something that's real, that's happening in real time, and you're creating the story just by the click of a shutter.
Do you enjoy that more documentary style?
Oh,
or
I do.
You just show up, shoot, and see what you get?
Yeah, it's a little bit like a hunt, a lot of people would say. It's like you're on the prowl to find those moments. And it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing to make a great street photo. It's just not. Everything has to happen perfectly in that 60th of a second.
Barbara Peacock now has an exhibition with 2 parts at the Maine Museum of Photographic Arts at the University of Southern Maine. One of them features photos from a project she's working on now called American Bedroom. Peacock is traveling all over the U.S., taking pictures of people from all walks of life in their bedrooms. I would have thought that people would be reluctant to let you shoot them in their bedroom. Were you surprised when they volunteered?
Okay, so some people are reluctant, and guess what? I don't get to shoot those people. But there's enough people who are interested because I position it as a collaboration. You and I are going to collaborate to show who you are in your bedroom. So you may not be comfortable being in the nude. Some people are. You might just want to sit there on your laptop, but I ask, what do you do in your bedroom? What types of things do you do in your bedroom? Not sex, but what do you do? And on their iPhone, reading books, watching TV, or no electronics in the bedroom, that's a whole nother thing.
How did you find these people?
Okay, this is a big question, a myriad of ways. The first thing I do if I'm going anywhere is like on Facebook. And sometimes I just meet people. And we chat. Someone was checking me out in Atlanta at the grocery, and he's like, do you have a card? And I said, no, I'm not from here. Where are you from? Blah, blah. I told him quickly what I was doing. He goes, take my picture. I said, give me your phone number. I'll text you the info. And I ended up photographing him, and it's a phenomenal photograph. He was a very strong man. He took his shirt off for the pictures. He's holding his daughter up like this, flying her around. And afterwards, he told me that, did I know he was trans? And I said, no, I didn't know. And then when I got home, I could see the scars and how he had transformed. And it's a fascinating story. And I just met him at the check out.
The other part of Peacock's exhibition at the Maine Museum of Photographic Arts is called Hometown, a series of photos Peacock has taken over decades in her hometown of Westford, Massachusetts.
The parades, the spaghetti suppers, all these things, and that's what I was interested in, was all those types of rituals, if you will, for small towns.
This is a project that really isn't a project, it's your life.
It's the town I lived in, and the idea was just to capture common everyday man doing everyday things. I was always interested in everyday man. Never wanted to be like photographing celebrities or anything like that.
What your photos do, though, is make us look at the familiar with a fresh eye.
Well, that's a compliment. Thank you. That is what I'm trying to do. Tension and contrast and emotion, all these things that you can get into a single frame to tell a story.
She's had something interesting. That second to last photograph of the Revolutionary War reenactors shooting their muskets, and then 10 feet away, the kids, the girls who are attending whatever, the junior prom or the senior prom. So it's this weird juxtaposition, but the kind of thing that if you grew up in New England doesn't look all that strange. But she said when she shows that photo to people from Europe, they are utterly baffled. They have no idea what it's all about.
I genuinely question that, and I grew up in Maine. What was going on there?
It was, Civil War, Revolutionary War reenactors who were out, and it was going on the same evening as the prom was, and so the girls are outside having their photos taken, and the reenactors are at the other end of the park or whatever, and she caught that particular moment.
Okay.
Which is what she has a knack for.
Okay.
Barbara Peacock's photos from American Bedroom and Hometown are on display until mid-May at the Maine Museum of Photographic Arts, which is in the Glickman Family Library on the University of Southern Maine campus in Portland.
And here's the thing, she's not finished with the American Bedroom series. In fact, she's looking for volunteers. So if you'd be willing to be photographed by her in your bedroom, get in touch with her.
Yeah, she's looking for people. Even though she's traveling all over the country shooting folks, she wants to find people in Maine and New Hampshire. You'll find contact information in the 207 section of our website and on our mobile apps.